Now, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, former State Department official Christian Whiton. All right, guys, you've seen this explosive interview with the three men actually on the ground telling us what happened that night. You know, what's your take? I'll go to you first, Tony Shaffer.
Well, first off, my heart goes out to Miss. Feels so terribly for
all
her.
of us.
The bottom line is that delay of a half an hour could have made a huge difference, both to save the life of Mr. Smith and Ambassador Stevens. And the other thing about this, Judge, and we know at the tactical level, you need to get in there immediately. You throw the enemy off his game plan. That gives you time to actually reassess how to get in there. And, Judge, this is the bad news. This stand-down order wasn't just there. As you point out and others have pointed out, there should have been air power there. Someone had to issue a stand-down order across the board. She's correct. Someone's lying. Because the moment this thing is reported up the chain of command, at least 3 separate DOD commands, Central Command, Special Operations Command, European Command, all spring into action. Things start happening automatically. Someone had to manually go around and turn all of those off. Therefore, someone had to issue a direct stand-down order.
But you know what? It's even worse than that, Tony, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not just that they didn't get the order to go, the FEST teams, the emergency response teams. You had guys who wanted to go,
yes,
who were told you can't go. Christian, what's your reaction?
You know, I think it reinforces a lot of what we already suspected. First of all, that the time made a huge difference. It wasn't the case that these guys knocked down a door and started shooting. Actually, they took time. They had trouble getting in. Ambassador Stevens was sheltering with his guards, and they started fires that eventually killed them. That could have been prevented if these heroes had been allowed. But the other implication, that's the big one, is that Hillary committed a crime. She lied to Congress in her prepared remarks, which she spoke under oath before the committee. She said no one gave a stand-down order. No one at the White House, no one at the State Department, and it looks very much, depending on who you believe, and I believe these three heroes, that she lied to Congress.
Do you know, I'll go to you, Tony Shaffer, do you know if anyone has spoken to that chief of base, the guy who was right there?
The honest answer is I'd like to believe Congress called him in. There's been several closed hearings. It's not on what all Congress has. And Trey Gowdy, I think rightfully, is keeping all the cards close to his chest about how he's going to conduct the overall hearings regarding the final issue. The bottom line is people know stuff, Judge. People should be coming forward to provide it as quickly as possible. There's a series of issues here. There's multiple violations. And for Mrs. Smith, for others, we are all owed an accounting of what happened that night. You know,
when we talk about Sean Smith and what he was doing in the final minutes, and we know of the cables ahead of time that, you know, these guys wanted more security, and yet the security was tamped down for them. Christian, what do you think it says to the rest of the world about our ability and our government's determination to help Americans in trouble?
It's really disappointing. You know, the State Department has been given by Congress almost everything it's asked for over the years. If you look at the budget for diplomatic security, which protects State Department officials from before the '98 embassy bombings that really started the spike in security, it's gone from $200 million up to $1.8 billion. So when the State Department says, oh, we just didn't have the resources, they're not telling the truth. The fact is that under Hillary and under Obama, the State Department had this mantra that, hey, the tide of war is receding. If the president says it, it must be true. And so when they asked for a .50 caliber machine gun, when they asked for a Marine Guard, when they asked for more equipment, it was denied by Hillary Clinton's State Department.
All right, Tony and Christian, thanks so much for being with us this evening.